Hi guys, in this video we're going to start our discussion on the Yojana magazine of the November 2018, which is based on the theme Swachtha. Now this is based on a very important theme, and this particular topic we have divided it into two parts, and in this video we're going to start our discussion with the first part, and we are going to cover some other relevant topics and even the MCQs based on this particular magazine in the second part. So let's start our discussion. So as discussed on the previous slide, the focus area of this month's magazine is the Swachtha. So the objective is to promote to clean and healthy villages, and we are moving towards this objective, and this has been elaborately discussed in this month's magazine. And one of the objectives is cleaning river Ganga, and different initiatives and measures have been taken in this regard, and they also have been elaborately discussed in this month's magazine. And with the focus on improving fuel efficiency and cleanliness, this is another very important ambition of the government, and we are also going to discuss how the government is working in this direction, and we are going to discuss about bringing sanitation revolution across the country and to make this sanitation campaign a Jan Andolan. Further, we are going to discuss the initiative which have been taken on the front of improving cleanliness of healthcare facilities, and we are going to discuss lots and lots of government schemes and policy measures with regard to Swachhta. So let's start our discussion on this very important quotation or very important words by none other than Mahatma Gandhi ji. So Mahatma Gandhi ji has said that so long as you do not take the broom and the bucket in your hands, you cannot make your towns and cities clean. So this statement, this ambitious statement which has been made by Mahatma Gandhi ji is the one which is guiding our sanitation initiatives in the present scenario. We are talking about making sanitation and cleanliness a mass campaign and to basically make it a Jan Andolan. We are going to discuss many a times in this month's magazine that thus sanitation is not just the responsibility of the government or a few administrative people. This is the responsibility of the masses. This is the responsibility of the people at large. So on the road to Swachtha, so India is on the road to creating a Swachh Bharat, and the Prime Minister gave a call for Swachh Bharat on 2nd of October 2014, and the sanitation infrastructure in the country, it was inadequate when this call was made by the Prime Minister, but now the situation has changed a lot. Earlier, the millions of people, they were defecating in the open. Effective waste management system, they were almost absent, and the government, it has now realized this. They realized this ambitious goal which we have to achieve, and it has started working in this direction towards creating proper sanitation infrastructure, like creating of toilets, proper waste management facilities, and running the sustained awareness campaigns to motivate people to bring about a behavioral change to adopt cleanliness as a way of life. Now next, let's talk about cleaning river Ganga. So this has been elaborately discussed. So for the Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, one of the major Swachhta challenges has been the cleaning of the holy river Ganga. To restore its avirilta and nirmalta, it means continuous and unpolluted flow of the river Ganga. So for this purpose, we have to analyze what are the multiple sources of pollution of this river, and we have to tackle those sources. So Ganga has multiple sources of pollution, and about 2,950 million liters of the sewage which is generated by the 97 towns which are located along the banks of river Ganga, they enter this river, that too untreated every day. So the sewage treatment infrastructure in these towns, it is inadequate, it is not proper, and the amends have to be made in this regard. So the problem is only going to get compounded as the population grows in these towns, as this is going to generate more and more waste. So it is very essential that we tackle this problem on war footing. So if we talk about the different initiatives which have been taken up for the cleaning of river Ganga, National Ganga River Basin Authority, it has been expanded by including ministers for water resources, river development and Ganga rejuvenation as the vice chairman, and also other ministers concerned with the wholesome development of Ganga. So this authority has been expanded, and we have different ministers in this authority to take care about the wholesome development of the river Ganga. Further, in an attempt to bolster the enforcement, the center also plans to establish a 4-battalion Ganga Eco Task Force. So this Eco Task Force is also being planned, a territorial army unit apart from contemplating on a legislation that aims to check pollution and protect the river. So this Ganga Eco Task Force is also in the way. Ganga Manthan has been launched, where more than 500 spiritual leaders of all the beliefs, academicians, technocrats, NGOs, environmentalists, policymakers, and implementers, they actively participate in the deliberations across promotion of cleanliness in the river Ganga. Further, many self-motivated individuals are also coming forward for afforestation, ghat cleaning, and other such work, and they are known by the name of Ganga Praharis. They motivate other people also to help the river and keep its banks clean. Now, what about the Ganga Grams? About the villages which are located along the river Ganga. So for this particular purpose, Ganga Namami Gange program has been launched, and under this program, the government plans to develop the villages which are located along the river Ganga, which have historic, cultural, and religious and or tourist importance. So the villages along the river Ganga, they are the target of this particular program, which is Namami Gange program. Now, works related to Ganga Gram will encompass comprehensive rural sanitation, development of water bodies and river ghats, construction, modernization of crematoria, etc. So, Ganga Grams, they are being taken care about through this Namami Gange program. Further, different innovative models like hybrid NUT model, one city, one operator concept, where all new and existing sewage treatment plants, they will be under the charge of one private operator. They are being set up, ensuring better upkeep and maintenance. So we are launching different innovative models with regard to solid waste management. Further, many private companies, they're also taking up the projects to clean Ganga, renovate the ghats along the river and crematoria, or do afforestation along the banks under their corporate social responsibility activities. So private companies, they are under their CSR activities taking different initiatives to promote the cleanliness of river Ganga. Now let's talk about Swachhta on the roads. Now the government is promoting the use of waterways as a cheaper and more environment friendly mode of transport. So the need has been recognized that we need to decongest our road network, and for this particular purpose, waterways is a very efficient, very cheaper alternative. And for this particular purpose, around 111 waterways, they have been declared as national waterways across the country, and they are being developed for transportation. Further, the government is also trying to promote the use of cleaner fuels like ethanol, methanol, biodiesel, bio-CNG and electricity in the transport sector as alternatives to petrol and diesel, because they are the more polluting ones. Also, Road Ministry is trying for generation of less waste during road building and using the waste material like fly ash, plastic, oil slack and municipal waste for construction of highways. So waste should be generated less and less, and the waste which is generated, it should be put into value added activities. Now next, let's talk about moving towards clean and healthy villages. Now why we need to move towards clean and healthy villages? Because our country mostly lives in villages, and only when the villages, they are developed, the holistic and inclusive development of the country is possible. If the villages, they are not clean, then the development of the country will also remain incomplete. An initiative in this regard has been made, and this initiative, which aspires to change the quality of life of rural people, is none other than Swachh Bharat mission. The objective is to make human life cleaner, healthier and dignified. So on October 2nd, 2014, the sanitation coverage across the country was just 38.7%. And through this Swachh Bharat mission, through the efforts of the government and the people at large, we have achieved a tremendous huge progress on this front, and currently the sanitation coverage is around 93.9%. So such a huge progress, it has not been seen anywhere in the world in the field of hygiene and cleanliness. So this shows that if people get together, if the government is serious, everything can be done on the cleanliness front. Now, if we talk about the importance of cleanliness, then cleanliness is not only about a life force, but it is a cornerstone of human development. So human development is not possible without cleanliness. No community or society can be successful unless it is neat and clean. The goals which relate to other sets of activities like education, health, poverty alleviation, human development, etc., they cannot be achieved in the absence of cleanliness. So cleanliness is the basic pillar which contributes significantly in the overall development of the nation, and the economic development of the nation will also remain incomplete if the nation is not clean and properly maintained. So it is our social obligation as the citizens of India that we fulfill the Gandhiji's vision of Clean India in the year 2019 on the occasion of 150th birth anniversary. So in the year 2019, we have to make efforts, we have to come together, we have to create this Jan Andolan and work towards the cleanliness of India as a country. Now, so let's talk about transforming the destiny of our villages. Now, in this regard, Swachh Bharat mission has played a key role and it has transformed the face and destiny of the villages today. Studies have revealed that in every house of an open defecation free villages, about rupees 50,000 are being saved. So when we make villages ODF, that is open defecation free, then every house is saving rupees 50,000. This is being saved because the family is saving on the expenditure which was otherwise incurred on the treatment of various diseases which used to occur due to lack of ODF status or due to lack of proper facilities with regard to sanitation and solid waste management. Now the rural families, they are utilizing these savings to acquire new amenities and facilities. They are using these savings to provide better education to their children and to improve their standard of living. So all this is ultimately going to contribute towards the development of the nation. Further, according to the study by the WHO, with the implementation of Swachh Bharat mission, every year we have prevented a large number of children from becoming the victims of deadly diseases in the rural areas. So in this regard, let's talk about this very important mission, which is the Swachh Bharat mission, Gramin. So Nirmal Bharat Abhiyan has been restructured into the Swachh Bharat mission, Gramin, and this particular mission it aims to make India an ODF, that is open defecation free country in the 5 years. It seeks to improve the levels of cleanliness in the rural areas across the country, and this is to be achieved through solid and liquid waste management activities, making Gram Panchayats ODF clean and sanitized. And for this purpose, technology is also going to be effectively used on a large scale to convert waste into wealth in the rural India, and this can be done by creation of biofertilizer and different forms of energy from the waste which is there in the rural areas. Now let's also talk about the different unique initiatives which have been taken in this regard. The women which are associated with the self-help groups, they have made commendable contribution in the cleanliness movement. The women, they are coming together, they are investing their savings in the cleanliness related works through these self-help groups. Panchayat representatives, they have also shown commendable interest and they are working towards creating a Swachh Bharat India. Wastewater management in Telangana. So in Telangana, soakage pits, they are being constructed through the use of MG Narega funds at family and community level. So linkages have been developed in the MG Narega and the Swachh Bharat mission to promote wastewater management activities through creation of soakage pits. Further, in Nanded district of Maharashtra, MG Narega funds, they were utilized for making soakage pits, which have helped to get rid of mosquitoes in the village as well. So this MG Narega and linking of the same with the Swachh Bharat mission is playing a very important role. Now let's talk about meeting the challenges which arise in achieving the ambition of creating a Swachh Bharat. Now considering the diversity of villages in the country, it should be kept in mind that no one model of sanitation can be adopted for all the Gram Panchayats across the country. So India is a diverse country, there is a diverse set of people, diverse set of cultures, diverse set of villages, and we have to adopt customized sets of models of sanitation for all the Gram Panchayats across the country. We have to focus on developing such measures which are easy to adopt, economical, and have minimum technical limitations. The villages of the country must not limit cleanliness to October only, and we have to make cleanliness an integral part of our life. We have to make it our habit. We have to do this on a regular basis. We have to keep our villages, streets, environment and surroundings neat and clean, and this is going to contribute towards the prosperity of rural life across the country. Now let's move to the next topic, which is Swachtha, Juggernaut of change. So 4 years have been passed since, and the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has moved from a vision into a juggernaut of change. So Swachh Bharat mission is the one which is promoting lots of change across the country, and this has led to unprecedented improvement across the country on different fronts. Sanitation coverage, as we have already discussed, it has improved from around 38.7% in 2014 to around 93.9% in 2018. And over 9 crore toilets have been constructed, and more than 4.5 lakh villages, they have been declared open defecation free. So lots of change have been witnessed across the country on this grounds of Swachhta. Further, World Health Organization, that is WHO, it has recently reported that the Swachh Bharat mission will result in averting more than 3 lakh deaths between 2014 and October 2019. So this again is a very commendable achievement. So we have discussed a lot about Swachhta, and we have seen that Swachhta is not just limited to a narrow meaning which is just cleanliness. It is a very broad term, and it encompasses many different things, including making cooking women friendly. Now exposure to the smoke which is produced by firewood, coal, cow dung, burning chula, it not only causes household pollution and deforestation, but it also adversely impacts the health of the women and children and causes several respiratory disorders. So once we inhale this smoke produced by these kinds of chulas, it leads to different sets of respiratory disorders and pollution. So this deprives the women an opportunity to earn a livelihood and paralyzes their social equity. So women, they are greatly impacted by this kind of unhygienic cooking environment, and they cannot contribute effectively to the nation's economy. Now for this purpose, this Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, it has been launched across the country, and more than 5.51 crore LPG connections, they have been released for women from underprivileged and SC/ST communities in India. A new target of 8 crore LPG connections by 2020 has also been set under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Now in this regard, let's also take a look at the different steps which have been taken up by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas in providing a clean and green environment. Oil and gas, central public sector enterprises and their joint ventures, they have taken different kinds of steps and initiatives under their CSR, that is corporate social responsibility activities, for creation of sanitation infrastructure in the country, and they have shown effective participation in the Swachh Bharat mission. Swachhtha at Petrol Pump app, it has been launched to monitor, report and ensure cleanliness of the toilets which are there in the outlets across the India in the real-time basis. Further, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, which we have just discussed on the previous slide, it has been launched, and under this particular scheme, 5 crore LPG connections have been provided to BPL households. Further, under Swachh Vidyalaya project, the oil companies, they have constructed more than 20,000 school toilets across the country. So ministry as well as the different oil PSUs of the government, they are working towards providing a clean environment. Next, let's talk about improving fuel efficiency. So apart from improving the cooking fuel, we are also concerned about the transportation fuels. The increasing consumption of petroleum transport fuels is directly linked with atmospheric pollution. The government has taken different steps and interventions to reduce vehicular emissions as well as improve the fuel efficiency. So we have to make sure our fuel is more efficient, it creates more energy and less pollution. And for this particular purpose, India has successfully implemented BS4 norms all across the country in April 2014. And now the government has decided that it will leapfrog from BS4 to BS6 fuel norms directly. We are not going to move towards BS5, we are going to directly move towards BS6 fuel norms because they are more energy efficient. The BS6 standard is less polluting than BS4 and they are comparable to the global standards which are in the form of Euro 6 standards. So that's why we are going to move from the BS4 directly to the BS6 fuel norms. Now let's discuss about the salient features of National Biofuel Policy 2018. Now this particular policy, it categorizes biofuels as basic biofuels, that is first generation biofuels, which include bioethanol and biodiesel. Advanced biofuels, which are second generation, which include ethanol, municipal solid waste to drop-in fuels. Third generation biofuels, which include the bio-CNG, etc. to enable the extension of appropriate financial and fiscal incentives under each of these categories. So first and foremost, we must remember that there is a national biofuel policy of 2018 and it categorizes biofuels into three categories: basic biofuels, second generation and third generation. This biofuel policy, it expands the scope of raw material for ethanol production by allowing the use of sugarcane juice, sugar containing materials like sugar beet, sweet sorghum, starch containing material like corn for ethanol production. So all the different sets of materials, they are going to be used for the ethanol production. And further, this policy allows the use of surplus food grains for production of ethanol, which is to be blended with petrol with the approval of National Biofuel Coordination Committee. So ethanol blending is also being taken care of under this particular policy. And further, with a thrust on the advanced biofuels, the policy indicates a viability gap funding scheme also for 2G ethanol biorefineries of rupees 5,000 crore in 6 years, in addition to additional tax incentives, higher purchase price as compared to the first generation biofuels. So the focus is gradually moving towards advanced biofuels, and for their advancement, viability gap funding VGF has also been incorporated in this national biofuel policy of 2018. Now let's talk about Swachhta in tourist locations. While the history of India is preserved in the glory of its monuments, but this glory has been distorted by the garbage which is left behind by the heavy tourist footfall at the tourist locations or the iconic places across the country. It is appropriate to spread the message of Swachhta at these locations, and 10 such iconic places of historical and religious importance, they have been identified and adopted by the oil and gas central public sector undertakings for upkeep and maintenance across the country. And this one is broadly linked to the Swachh Iconic Places initiative of the government, and we have discussed that particular initiative also separately in this video. Swachh Bharat mission has now become a Jan Andolan with the massive people's participation. So people have recognized that it is essential to keep our tourist places clean, and they gradually incorporated this in their habits and behavior, and now they try to keep the tourist places neat and clean. Now let's talk about sanitation, a revolution which is gradually taking place across the country. So sanitation has been put at the forefront of the national development agenda, and a recent survey under the World Bank supported project, it found it that 93% of the households which were surveyed, they had toilets and they used them, confirming the behavior change focus of the Swachh Bharat mission. So this revolution has occurred in the behavior change segment of the Swachh Bharat mission, and now the people who are having their toilets at their homes, they are also using them. So this movement has led to inclusive development catering to all the sections of the society, irrespective of age, caste, gender, religion and physical ability. So again, I can say that it has become a Jan Andolan. Now this month's magazine, it also talks about the challenge of 4 S's. So what is this challenge of 4S, which is related to the sanitation initiatives across the country pertaining to the Swachh Bharat mission? So they include scale, speed and 2 other factors which we are going to see in the coming slides. So let's talk about these factors one by one. So first is scale. To meet the need to change the behavior of 600 million people. So see, the scale is very large. The scale is 600 million people. To meet the need to change the behavior of 600 million people, Swachh Bharat mission had to acknowledge the scale it was dealing with. It was a very large scale of people involved, and it had to respond with a national team of Swachh Bharat which had the requisite caliber to change the behavior of the individual as well as the community at large. So first challenge is the scale challenge. So we must have the proper infrastructure with us. We must have the proper team with us to achieve the behavior change across 600 million people across the country. Now other one is speed. So we have recognized that we need to move towards creation of Swachh Bharat by the 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. So there is a sense of urgency which is needed to create a nationwide campaign in the form of Swachh Bharat and to move towards creating a clean and neat and green India. So this challenge is speed challenge. Next is stigmas and myths. Now, Swachh Bharat mission could not set forth behavioral change without acknowledging the stigmas and the myths which are held by the different communities. So different communities, they have their own stigmas, they have their own myths, and they have to be addressed when we have to move towards creating a Swachh Bharat. So when we address this behavioral change, we have to acknowledge that they have their own myths, they have their own stigmas, and they have to be taken care of. And along with addressing these on the ground, a central level mass media campaigns, they have to be launched. For this purpose, the Darwaza Bandh campaign, it communicated the need to use toilets by each and every member of the household. So this Darwaza Bandh campaign has been launched and it tries to shatter the different stigmas and myths which are associated with creating using the toilets in the homes. Further, the film Toilet Ek Prem Katha, it gives a holistic picture of the troubles and obstacles which are faced by the women and eventual achievement of safe sanitation practices in the community. So this particular film is also a step in this direction of eliminating the stigmas and myths associated with the behavioral change across the country. Now next is sustainability. Now it may happen that we achieve this objective of Swachh Bharat, but it may be a one-time achievement because once again the people may start moving towards their old practices and they forget about the principles of Swachh Bharat mission. So for this purpose, Swachh Bharat mission has maintained its parallel focus on sustaining the Jan Andolan. So this sustaining the Jan Andolan has remained the key priority area, and it has focused that this progress, it remains on the ground. Further, under ODF plus, Open Defecation Free plus, Swachh Bharat mission, it goes beyond the toilet and it works towards creating clean villages by prioritizing solid and liquid waste management in ODF villages as well as rural water supply for ODF villages. So we have made different efforts to sustain this Jan Andolan and we have moved towards ODF plus initiative which goes beyond toilets. It moves towards holistic cleanliness of villages through waste management through proper water supply. So now let's conclude our discussion. So Swachh Bharat mission is setting an example for the rest of the world to move towards improving the sanitation for all and achievement of, this is very important from the examinations perspective, United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 6. So Swachh Bharat mission is gradually making progress and it's making a lot of progress towards achievement of United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 6 in mission mode and ensuring that the behavior change communication in all its forms is the only tool for sustainable change. So it has recognized that if the change is to be sustainable, it has to be through the behavior change communication. If we are not focusing on changing the behavior of the people, we are not communicating about behavior change, then the goal of Swachh Bharat mission will remain incomplete and it will only be a temporary achievement. And the goal of United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 6, which is clean water and sanitation, will remain incomplete. So guys, here we conclude our discussion on the Yojana magazine of the month of November 2018. So we have completed the first part and we have learned a lot of things about the India's ambition towards creating a Swachh Bharat. So we are going to continue our discussion and learn lots of more important things and government initiatives in the coming part. So for now, thank you and happy learning.